It is not your responsibility as a consumer to be a banker. What does that rhyme with that word? Never mind, I digress. I heard someone make a statement on Twitter the other day saying that the auteur is a translation for losing money, that it destroyed DC, that it destroyed Star Wars, that it destroyed this and it destroyed that. I thought art and entertainment was about freedom of expression. As someone who owns his own theatre, who writes and directs and performs with his amateur dramatic society, I express myself, the rest of my team express ourselves, and people love us for it. People need us to do it. But Zack Snyder was criticised and mocked for having an idea for DC. It's not about whether Zack was right or wrong to do what he did with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, etc. He had an idea. He expressed an idea. And in terms of the DCEU, apart from the Aquaman film, no other DCEU movies made as much money or brought in as much excitement as Zack Snyder did in his portion of the DCEU. Why are we so worried about what a film makes, what rating a film gets? Your only responsibility as a fan and a consumer is whether you enjoy a film or not. Shrug your shoulders if you don't like it, cheer if you do, and watch it again and again and again. Warner Brothers was famous for giving auteurs the opportunity to express themselves freely. Via their connection to New Line Cinema, they did that very thing with Peter Jackson and The Lord of the Rings. And it works. Now, nobody's claiming that Zack Snyder is Peter Jackson, that the Snyderverse is the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but my word, by derailing what he did, by blocking him at every attempt of his creativity, of his freedom of expression, they created a problem. A problem that will go on and on via James Gunn's DC universe, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. To criticize Zack Snyder is okay. To not like Zack Snyder and what he does is okay. It's also okay to love what he did with DC. I loved what he did with DC, but I also understand it's not a straight line. I've also criticized elements of the Snyderverse. Again, that's okay. And, you know, we can question if bringing him in to make DC movies was the best thing for DC. Some will say it was the best thing for DC. Some will say it's the worst thing for DC. We're never going to get an agreement via this fandom, throughout this fandom, whether Zack Snyder was good for DC or bad for DC. But we know one thing. By not allowing him to finish his story arc, his 5-film plan, we damaged the integrity of Warner Brothers as a studio and DC as a trademark. Because Christopher Nolan came in and did a trilogy. Christopher Nolan is an auteur, right? And, you know, auteurs are very self-indulgent. That's why they're auteurs. Once you give them that ability to come in, you have to go with what they're doing. By basically derailing Snyder and bringing in Whedon to do Justice League, WB and DC became a meme. We recently heard from Kevin Feige in this Marvel book that he was surprised that people didn't like Ant-Man Quantumania. This is how deaf, dumb, and blind studios are. Because Hollywood is an echo chamber. It's a bubble. And they don't listen to the outside world. They don't listen to their customer. I think fans like me and you should be inside of Hollywood, consulting with them, not telling them what to do, but advising them what's a good look and what's a bad look.